Have you given any thought how the post-pandemic workplace might look and function? Our working practices have changed dramatically since the pandemic struck, undergoing one of the biggest shake-ups since the Industrial Revolution and bringing the wheel full circle with many of us returning to home working. Overnight, many of us turned from being office-based commutes to stay-at-home knowledge workers. Now we liaise remotely with colleagues as we work on projects, deliver great customer service or simply manage the work of others. We've done all this remotely using our webcams and laptops. It's a massive change that would ordinarily have taken a decade to achieve but which has now happened in an instant because of a virus. Thankfully, effective vaccines are being rolled out and some sort of end is in sight. The pandemic has shown large corporations that remote working is viable and, in many cases, can increase productivity. Many of us prefer this new way of working. As a result, some companies will downsize offices and rely on hot-desking to make best use of available space. Of course, there will still need to be some sort of central hub for workers to meet because some people enjoy office life and face-to-face contact is still essential for some kind of work. Remote working has worked well, especially with colleagues who already had a working relationship before the pandemic struck. All they needed to do was continue their working relationships remotely. Unfortunately, it is not so easy for workers joining companies since the pandemic. Many are working alongside team members who already know each other. This is where video conferencing can help and why some companies encourage workers to hold social activities online after work using Zoom or Microsoft Teams. Another change triggered by the pandemic is the shutting down of business travel. We now depend on video conferencing to liaise with overseas colleagues. The days of hopping on a plane to make a presentation halfway around the world are at an end. In my own world of journalism, most trade shows, product launches and interviews are now conducted by video. I haven't had to travel this past year and it's done wonders for my productivity and carbon footprint. Eventually, though, the day will come when we return to a more blended way of working with some time will be spent at the office and the rest of our time working from home. How will we adapt to this more mixed way of working when we're not in front of our personal webcams? This is a question Logitech thinks it has an answer for. The webcam and mouse manufacturer also makes high-end video conferencing equipment. It's teamed up with Zoom, the developer of one of the most popular video conferencing software being used this past year, to shake up the market. Both companies have collaborated to develop a new style of video conferencing.